Trump's scorn for alliances isn't his alone. Many Americans regard the pacts and treaties as outdated and unnecessary. When former President Donald J. Trump told a campaign rally in South Carolina last weekend that he would encourage Russia to attack the NATO allies who didn't pay, there were gasps of shock in Washington, London, Paris, Tokyo, and elsewhere around the world. But not in South Carolina, at least not in the room that day. The crowd of Trump supporters decked out in "Make America Great Again" T-shirt and baseball caps reacted to the notion of siding with Moscow over longtime friends of the United States with boisterous cheers and whistles. Delinquent allies, forget them, not America's problem. The visceral rejection of the American-led security architecture constructed in the years after World War II serves as a reminder of how much the notion of U.S. leadership in the world had shifted in recent years. Alliances that were once seen as the bulwark of the Cold War are now viewed as the outdated albatrosses by a significant segment of the American public that Mr. Trump appeals to. The old consensus that endured even in the initial years after the end of the Cold War had frayed under the weight of globalization. The wars in Iraq and Afghanistan, the Great Recession of 2008, 9, and Mr. Trump's relentless assault on international institutions and agreements. While polls show most Americans still support the NATO and other alliances, the increasingly vocal objection in some quarters hark back to a century ago when much of America just wanted to be left alone. The alliance structure was built to win the Cold War and is sort of atrophied, said Michael, a scholar of great power competition at Tufts University in Boston. Trump was obviously very jarring when he came to office, but it was part of a long-term trend. Indeed, he added, if you look at U.S. history, the last 80 years I really look at as an aberration. Through most of U.S. history, Americans thought they had a pretty good thing going here on the continent, and they were largely independent economically of other countries, and that's still largely true today. The tension between going-alone nationalism and broad coalition internationalism has played out in stark form in the past week. Just days after his speech, Mr. Trump had followed up by vowing to end all foreign aid without the hope of a payback. If he wins back his old job, offering only loans to be reimbursed, and Speaker Mike Johnson and the House Republicans refused to even consider $95 billion security aid package for American allies in Ukraine, Israel, and Taiwan. Even some of the most outspoken Republican hawks in the Senate voted against the aid, most notably Lindsey Graham of South Carolina, who opposed the package after speaking with Mr. Trump. Mr. Graham, who has long promoted muscular American leadership and portrayed himself as a ferocious backer of Ukraine, and Israel joined his Republican colleagues in demanding tough action to secure the United States border with Mexico, even at the cost of allies.